Hello, and welcome to the Casino Tears podcast. I'm one of your hosts, 10 Ton is number one, and joining me as my co-host is the one and only Ed Robinson from Roll to Win Craps. If you want more info on our show, please visit our page at casinotears.com. On this week's show, we discuss Shooter's Delight, Hard Rock, VIP, Private Table. We also touch on Treasure Bay, Stick Stickers, Miking, Socks, Casino Wizard, 40 Rollers, Tactical Plays, and Ed wears a man purse. Yo, Ed, what's happening?
Sitting here drinking. I got all this brown water I got at the bash. Oh, I see the hat, number one.
Dude, what do you think of the hat?
10 Ton number one, wearing the number one hat.
Look at this thing, Ed. Camo. I also got two of these. Look at this camo.
Perfect.
Hunter is going to love that.
That's
They made two of these. Dark camo like this, Ed. Sweet, right? That's sweet for your serious duck hunters.
Turkey hunters, duck hunters, everybody. Yep.
We might want to give away one of these.
Good idea.
All right, man. This is the first of two recordings we're going to have this week. The second one being tomorrow, where we have our special guest.
Our secret guest.
But this one, we deliberately have not gotten together to record because I wanted to hear it. All the highlights from the Brownwater Bash 2025. Number 3. Let's hear it.
Brownwater Bash 2025. Highly successful event. Yeah, it was number 3.
Nice.
Highly successful event. On Saturday, we had a hard count of 75 people attending on Saturday.
That's impressive, dude. That's impressive.
If you count whoever we may have missed that may have showed up Friday night or, just didn't come into the event. I mean, we had 62 inside there at one time at the VIP lounge. And then we started counting up the people who were there that weren't in there when we counted. So, we come up with a good solid 75, and it could have been a little more. I'm not sure, but we'll call it 75.
When this started, how many people showed up for Brownwater Bash number 1? And what were you expecting on the first one? Was it just like, hey, we're just going to have a meetup. Let's get together.
Yeah, it was. It really was. That's all it ever is. It's just a meetup, right?
Like, how many people were at the first one? Like 20?
No, there was around 40.
Oh my God, dude, starting off strong.
There was somewhere between 30 and 40 for sure. Yeah. Yeah, I think around 40. Last year we had just over 50.
It's just growing, man.
So maybe the first year was 30. I don't know. It was more than I was expecting. I was expecting 8,
yeah,
whatever. And then 75 for sure on Saturday. That was a solid count. Yep.
That's cool, man.
I got 7 bottles of booze given to me there.
Man.
And a pair of socks.
Hey,
Las Vegas socks.
You can never
have
socks. Too many pairs of socks, I believe.
Yep.
Do what? They say Las Vegas on them?
Yeah, it's got the little welcome to Las Vegas thing, and then it's got dice and chips and stuff on it.
That's one of those gifts where you're like, what the hell? And then it actually comes in handy, and you're like, wow, these are good socks.
I will wear them in Vegas when I go to see you. Yep.
That's awesome.
Maybe I'll wear them to the cocktail party.
I saw those bottles of bourbon that you got. That's pretty sweet. People come bearing gifts.
You saw that? This one? I haven't even opened this one.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's amazing. Who got you that?
Greg and Rebecca Peters. Greg was there. His wife is handy, so she did this crafty thing for it. Yep.
Man, 3 bottles of bourbon in there.
Yep.
That's impressive. You got that chicken cock bourbon. Hang on, I feel like I should bleep the name of that when I say it, but that's an actual brand.
Terry, CBK's girlfriend, gave me the second time.
That's a big bottle.
Here's a bottle of Bullet I had never seen before, never tasted. I haven't opened it yet, but it's bottled in bond Bullet.
Nice.
I haven't tasted that one yet. And I got over there on the shelf, which I have tasted quite a bit of already, is the 10-year Bullet.
Oh, a little 10-year Bullet.
And Brothers Bond. That came from Jeff over at Mid-Atlantic Craps.
Nice, Jeff.
And Sweet Lou.
And Sweet Lou. Nice.
So,
man, you're never going to run out.
I wouldn't say I would not go anywhere near that.
Solid month supply.
Yeah, more or less. Yeah.
That's really nice, man.
I'm always humbled, quite frankly, that so many people come up and they just come up and say, "Hey, I'm just so glad you had the event. I'm glad for what you do." So many people there listen to the podcast here. Tons and tons of Casino Tears t-shirts. There were a few hunting license flying around,
Nice.
hats, the new hoodie. I had on the new
Nice.
t-shirt. There was a lot. The co-branding's pretty unique, I guess, right?
Very cool. Man, someone had the new hoodie down there. Well, it gets cold in a casino, man. Those things would be great for poker tournaments, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Justice Jen had hers.
Oh, nice. One of my friends plays he's going to be playing in all the poker tournaments, WSOP. I'd mentioned him before. A guy named Courtney. Courtney spells it Courtney. He always wears Casino Tears gear. It's great advertisement. You're just sitting there and people are just
Yep.
staring at it for like 10 hours. It gets cold in those places. When he comes up here, I'm giving him a hoodie. So he's like sponsored by Casino Tears.
Ours is like so thick.
It's a beefy ass hoodie, man. It is it's
It's
nice.
Really is. Really, really is.
Let's get into it, dude. So you went down there. Well, I don't know anything about this. I don't know if you won, if you lost, how it went, like how the private table was, all that stuff. One day when I was going to the gym, I popped on and I'm like, oh, they were live. But it wasn't live. It was already over. I was just watching a repeat of it being live in the back with your host. That was your host, right?
Yeah, that's our host.
Ice Queen.
She did a fantastic job. Her and the whole team there at Hard Rock. In fact, they've already invited us back whenever.
Dude, that's fucking nice. That's really nice. When I was watching that, I was like, that's a nice host because I got some serious beef with my hosts up here. I feel like a lot of the hosts in Vegas are a little fucking ungrateful. You could have the greatest cruise at a casino, yet the hosts at that particular casino are just lame. I don't know if it has to do with the cutbacks or whatever, but I'm not feeling the love or the appreciation from a lot of my hosts.
Ice Queen is a great host. She's been good to me for the last year. Actually, she took me over in January or February of last year is when she took over as my host.
What happened? Who'd she take over for?
I had a great host. I mean, she was perfectly satisfactory. But I think some of the other guys had this one, and because we were starting to do events and things, she says, "Let me pull Ed in," and she took over Ed. So I guess it was her request.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
So, but she's been there since day one. She's been there 18 years. She's married to one of the dealers, one of the craps dealers.
You better be betting on the 7. She knows it. She knows her own reputation.
She does. That's why she's called the Ice Queen. So we don't let her around the private table when
Oh, it's like, thanks. Close the door behind her.
we point at her and say, "Stop. Dude, I got down there Wednesday night. I drove down after work on Wednesday night. I stayed at the IP, which I shouldn't say that on here, but I did."
Who showed up? Anyone else show up early?
Judge Three Putt was down there when I got there. Sweet Lou was there when I got there.
The early birds, man.
They'd been there since Tuesday.
Man.
Yeah, Sweet Lou drove down from New Jersey and got there on Tuesday.
That's a long ride, I think. Long drive. I wonder if he's ex-law enforcement, right?
Yes, he is.
I wonder if Sweet Lou speeds.
I have.
How many miles he feels good about going over the speed limit.
I don't know. I need to ask him.
Or if he just keeps it right at the 65, or I can't imagine going 55 anywhere. Seems so slow.
I hit 2 sides, could never bring in the all.
Hey, that's just a bonus, dude, from what I hear.
That's what it is. It's just a bonus. I did, though, as soon as I made my point, I needed a 12, change a set on the come out and hit the 12 on the come out.
Nice. That pesky 12 is tough to hit. I had a little issue with the 12 last night. I went to one of your sets that you gave me to hit the 12 and I fucking hit it twice.
Did you really?
Not to interject here, but as you grow in your journey on DI, Bump John and I, since he goes with me all the time, he's the best tracker, man. Dude, Bump John, Ed, if he was your hunting partner, you would love this guy because he's there with his pad, fucking writes down every toss. I stopped doing it just because he's so good at it. He likes doing it. And we can go analyze the results. He's like, you just threw 18. Here's how many. You just threw 10, 9 of them were off axis. He's great because I can yell out. I'm like, I changed my mind. I'm going with a 6-2-2-6, right?
Yeah.
Because I needed to bang that 12 out and hit it twice with that set. You told me to switch to that set one time when I needed the 12. And now whenever I need the 12, I go to that. So anyway, back to your story.
So I played a bunch of roulette late that night.
Roulette, where's that come from? Where were you drinking?
I needed a place to sit down while I was drinking. Me and Judge Three Putt.
Was the IP a disaster or was it just okay? Like a break even thing?
I was probably a little bit down thanks to roulette.
Oh, thanks to roulette?
Yeah. Met the most interesting guy there it was just me and Judge Three Putt.
Was he drinking?
No, he was stone cold sober.
Dos Equis? What does the most interesting guy in the world drink? Doesn't he drink like he drinks something? Does he drink Dos Equis?
I don't know, but this guy had a system, and he was kind of like Tony Leo. He was kind of up as you lose, and he'd go up 3 levels. It was a $5 roulette, and so he would like go 5. He had certain streets that he would cover. About 80% of the board was covered, and then if he lost, then he'd go to 15, not 10, but to 15, and then from 15 to 25. That was his 3 levels. So anyway, he won about $800 sitting there with us chit chatting. That's about it on that night. The next morning, I got up.
Do you remember that commercial? The most interesting man in the world. It's an alcohol commercial. Gray hair and a beard. I remember being at a party. I'm sorry. I remember I went to a party in LA at some bar, and the most interesting man in the world was actually there. That's the most interesting man in the world who's in that commercial. How do you not know? It's for Dos Equis or Heineken or Corona. You must know that. I bet everyone listening to this is going, yeah, it's the most interesting man in the world. Do you not know that?
It sounds familiar, but I don't remember. Yeah.
All right. So anyway, go ahead.
Played a little bit on Thursday morning before I left. I think I hit another side.
Hey, that's just a bonus, dude, from what I hear.
That's what it is. It's just a bonus. And I was like, I'm not worried about it because we had people there already. We had people. Gargoyle had landed about 8:30 or 9 o'clock that morning. Jeff was coming in from mid-Atlantic Craps. He was flying in around noon. So it was kind of, I never really unpacked, but just kind of, close your suitcase up, change clothes, and throw everything in the car and go meet everybody over at the Hard Rock for lunch.
So Ed, it was mostly people were coming in from the South and East Coast, right?
Nope. Mudslide Mac was there from LA.
Man, a West Coaster mudslide.
Justice Jen obviously was there.
Oh man, you get people from far and wide. That's right. Up near the SF area, I think.
Tons from Texas, tons from Tampa, a bunch from the Northeast, and then upper Midwest too. They were from all over the country. They really were. We played a lot of craps this weekend. God almighty, we played a lot of craps.
How many hours do you think that you spent per day playing craps? 12? Like 10? Like more than a job, right?
On Thursday, probably 5 just on Thursday because I didn't play. I'd play a little bit in the morning, whatever that was. Then we played in the afternoon and night on Thursday.
Any big highlights from that Thursday? How was everyone doing? Was there a big winner?
Everybody was slow bleeding on Thursday, best I remember. It was one of those days where you're close. You can't get on over the hill and just coast on down the hill. Dude, I spent a lot of time on this stupid machine.
Slot machine?
No, it's called Casino Wizard, and you can choose which game you want to play. And I was playing craps.
You were playing like a digital craps game?
Yep. It's all 100% video digital.
Was it at a bar or do you sit down?
No, you sit down. You sit down and play on a big screen, touch screen kind of a thing. It looks like a slot machine, but it's not. And it's just an electronic roll of the dice. You see the dice fly across the table and it comes up and tells you what it rolled.
Man, how did you like that? What are you doing playing? Man.
Well, if the regular table was full, or if I was just trying to find a place to go sit down and hide, nobody looking for me at a machine.
No.
But every time I sat down at that machine, I was picking up. In fact, that machine brought me back to even.
Really? Craps Wizard?
There was one time I was up $500 on that thing with a $200 buy-in on it.
That's nice.
That's in an hour, just sitting there ding, ding, ding. But I'm playing the don'ts. It's a very mathematical calculation. See, it's not bubble craps. It's not anything else. So you know that the algorithm is going to more or less be shaped towards the normal curve. There were a few outliers out there every once in a while, but I was just playing flat don'ts, and then we'd get 5, 6, 7 rolls in. I'd max odds on every don't come bet I had out there, and it would throw 7 within 1 or 2 rolls. It was just I was just pecking away at that thing. I was picking up from $200 to $400 on average virtually every time I sat down at that machine.
Yeah, replenishing your hit points.
I was sitting there going, if you were down here and you want to make $300 a day, you could do it right there at that machine. I think you could. Might take you 3 or 4 hours to get there, playing low and careful and all that, but you'd get there playing the don'ts on it. Anyway, just a side item. Wore my man purse.
That is right. I forgot. I was sent pictures.
It's probably Oz.
Oh yeah, Oz. Oz sent me those pictures. You were wearing a fucking man purse, dude.
Just like 10 ton does.
Well, how'd you like it? Let me ask you. How did you like it? Wasn't it liberating to not have your pockets stuffed full of stuff, and then you could just sling it back like it's a quiver filled with arrows, and you're walking around like you're gonna shoot something? You don't have to worry about reaching in your pocket. You can put your phone in there.
I would never put my phone in there.
What the hell? Why? I put my phone in there when I shoot, and then I just sling it
That's heavy.
behind my back.
I had a bunch of giveaway chips in it.
Okay, nice.
A couple of zipper pockets with some $100 Ben Franklin's in it.
He wasn't part of the Louisiana Purchase. Those are
No,
basically fanny packs that you just sling across. That's what mine is.
Yeah. Yeah.
How'd you like it? You like it? Are you going to keep doing it?
Maybe.
How'd you feel? Did you feel less manly?
A lot.
Did you
a
really?
A lot less manly. But I was making everybody laugh with it.
Yeah, that's good.
They were making fun of me. Everybody was making fun of me.
That is hilarious. That's funny, man.
I did wear it and played at the table. And
comes in handy, right? It does come in handy.
It came in handy, especially at an event where you got a lot of stuff you got to carry around, keep up with. And like I said, I had all our chips. I had Casino Tears chips in there. I had the Brownwater Bash chips in there.
Yeah, some money. And you can put your phone. You can put.
I do not put my phone in it. Don't need gum.
I'm telling you, it is like a purse, but let's not call it a purse. It's better to call it a quiver.
A quiver. I was thinking shoulder sling, but a quiver will work. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. I mean, your man card's revoked, dude. That's hilarious.
Yeah, it got revoked Friday.
That's funny though. That is funny.
It was funny. And I was getting a kick out of wearing it just to make everybody laugh. Never worn one in my life.
Yeah, but it's nice, man. I'm telling you, it is liberating.
It's genuine leather.
It's a real deal, man.
Stepped up, got the leather one. I couldn't do the vinyl one.
No,
that was too much. I couldn't do the vinyl one.
I think mine's like canvas.
Anyway, so we played a lot on Friday because everybody's starting to come in. I mean, everybody's coming in. You got Stim
So this
Placer.
is when the real party started on Friday.
Yeah, but Friday was everybody else's arrival day. I mean, you got Justice Jen, you got Ryan from Mark the Point, you got Sarge coming in.
Attention.
Yep, Sarge is coming in on Friday. Gosh, I mean, we had
got
9.
That guy Rock from the Hulk.
Had Rock there. He drove in. He drives this souped up Mustang.
Oh, that's awesome.
He sent us a picture and he says, I'll be there in a little bit. And he sent a picture of his speedometer and he was doing 130 miles an hour.
Oh, damn, man. Rock, dude, is not messing around.
No, he was not messing around.
With the lead foot.
Roxton is his name.
That's a great name.
Yeah, I asked him, I said, how do you, is that an old family name? He went, no, my dad was military and he wanted to raise a man's man as a kid. So he named me Roxton.
Roxton. All right, so everyone's coming in. Rock's there, Sarge.
Everybody, tons and tons of people. They had to open craps tables early at the Hard Rock. We had so many people there.
That's cool, man. I bet Hard Rock's happy.
Oh yeah, very happy. Even on Saturday, they opened one table like 3 hours earlier than they normally do, just because we had so many people there. Yeah, Friday was probably a 12-hour craps day just for me.
Oh wow, okay. How was your Friday craps overall take? Was it,
I was back up to even by the end of the day, maybe a little ahead.
that's a lot of
Played
craps, huh?
a lot of craps. We just never could get
Get on up over the hill.
you get your money and you rack and you get pressed up and you're ready to hit them hard and there comes a seven. Happened a lot, but as long as you're not really behind, you can't really complain.
Yeah, that's cool. You're just treading water, waiting for the big one.
We had a lot of huge rolls. Had a couple in from south of Atlanta. Him and his wife, they play, they listen to the podcast, they watch my channel, they brought me socks.
Nice, man.
She had a 40 roller down at Treasure Bay.
I would love a 40 roller.
Oh, who wouldn't? Rock went there the next day and had a 40 roller.
Couple 40 rollers over there?
Oh, we had 40s.
Really?
That was not at Hard Rock. That was down at Treasure Bay, but
I never heard of Treasure Bay before. I've never heard of that place.
hadn't talked about that one, have we?
No, Treasure Bay.
It's about 30 minutes from Hard Rock.
Oh, that's a minute.
Well, it's just right down the coast. That's driving 45 miles an hour down the coastline for
Really?
30 minutes.
Treasure Bay. What's that
Yeah.
place like? Is that just a private casino? Privately
Yeah,
owned?
it's a privately owned casino, and before Katrina, it was a pirate ship sitting out in the bay. And it got
Treasure Bay
destroyed.
Casino was a pirate ship?
Yeah, it was like a huge pirate ship sitting out.
Like authentic pirate ship or replica?
No, well, like a replica.
Oh,
It was
cool,
all,
man.
all casino inside the ship.
Oh, wow. So it was a pirate ship. It was a casino and a pirate ship.
Yeah, because see,
That's cool.
before Katrina, they all had to be out
On the water.
on the actual water. And then Katrina destroyed most of them. So, yeah, all of the ones that were in the water.
Were the ones that were destroyed allowed to go on land?
Everything then they changed the rules and let them move off of the water onto
That's
the
pretty
land.
cool. The least they could do.
Some never returned. I mean, there was the Grand.
Lost at sea, man.
The Grand was just devastated, and so was Lady Luck. This was pre-Katrina. Yeah, they were almost side by side. Where the Grand is now Harrah's, except Harrah's, the only thing that was left was the Grand parking deck, which was on land. Harrah's came in there and built beside it. Yeah, but gosh, dude, we had a lot of really good rolls. Most of my rolls were decent or respectable, anywhere from the 10 to 15 range on up into the low 20s.
That's awesome.
I had one that felt like it was a lot longer than Jen wrote it down, but it was like a 22. I remember that was on the private table.
Okay, yeah, we'll get to that. How many PSOs do you think you had this weekend?
I know I had 3.
That's not many.
That many hours that I tossed, dude.
For that many hours of play, that's amazing. I had one last night, and I only played a couple hours.
You're not throwing for that many hours. You're just throwing when you get the dice, right? I could have had more. I don't know. I know for sure I had 3.
Okay, so more or less even going into Saturday.
Yeah, going into Saturday morning, more or less even.
It was private table on Saturday.
No, it's Sunday night.
Wow, private table was on Sunday night. Okay.
Well, it's less crowded. That table's not normally open. They bring in a special crew.
Anyone rip off any monster rolls on Saturday?
Well, some of those that I talked about down the street one of those might have happened on Saturday. We went over to Boomtown. Gargoyle wanted us to play the stadium craps.
Man, all over the place. Craps, Wizards, Stadium Craps, Roulette.
Yep.
So when you're at the Brownwater Bash, you're just headquarters basically at Hard Rock, but you're going all over the place playing craps.
Yeah, everybody else is. I'm pretty much anchored there. I don't want to get out. When I left the IP that morning, I went, I'll be back here next day or two. No, I never even got back there. Stent Placer came in from Tampa. Oz came in from Tampa. Stent Placer shot fantastic this weekend. He freaking killed it.
Good job, Stem Placer.
He roll after roll after roll.
Really?
Yes.
Where was you shooting from?
Stick right, 2 to stick right hook.
Never seen him shoot from that side of the table.
I taught him how to shoot from the table at our event.
That's right. That's where last time I saw him there.
He killed it. He absolutely killed. I don't remember him having a short roll all weekend.
Biloxi, very kind to the Stent Placer.
Oz was shooting from a stick right.
Odds have that his patented cigar hanging out of
Absolutely.
his mouth.
Always 24/7. I think he sleeps with that cigar.
Nice.
I mean, never lit, but it's always chomping on it. The casino gave us access and they blocked it off as a private party at the VIP lounge from 3 in the afternoon to 5 in the afternoon on Saturday as a meet and greet
So you had a little party going on a VIP lounge on Saturday then.
for 2 hours, free drinks, just having a good time. People coming in, people swapping chips, picking up our chips, my chips.
Potato chips.
Well, there was no potato chips, but I mean, they were just that's when we had the head count was on that Saturday. We had 62 in the room at one time.
Man, that is impressive, dude.
62 were in the VIP lounge at one time. Some left, and then some more people came in. And so Jeff and I sat down and kind of did a tally. And then there were 3 or 4 out on the table still when we did the count. And so we kind of added it up and came up with 75. Lots of wives came down. You know how many wives? This is so funny. I had wife after wife, and this happens every year. They come up to me and they go, "You're one of the last voices I hear before I go to sleep every night."
I know, man. Mm-hmm.
Husband sitting there watching it on TV or listening to you and I.
I know, you gotta just feel for them that they have to listen to us.
Yeah, but they come up. Some of them are craps. Some of them are craps players, and some of them are not. But they come up and we love the podcast. It's like Sweet Lou's wife. She wasn't there, but she loves our podcast.
That's awesome.
So there were tons of ladies there, some players and some, just like my wife, just play slots or whatever. But it was a lot. Mr. Yo 11 was there.
Yo 11 was there. Nice. He's from North Carolina, right?
Yeah.
Is he from North Carolina?
Yep. He and his wife were there.
Nice.
I look at the pictures. I have to look at pictures to remember who all was there. There's so many. I mean, there's just so many people.
That's pretty sweet.
I spent 2 hours in the bar sipping on bourbon and just shaking hands, getting wasted and talking to people and shaking hands and thank you for coming. And it's very humbling when you get that many people just show up.
Yeah.
It's something you don't really even promote. I mean, we're just kind of like, oh, we're going to have the Brownwater Bash, blah, 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 blah. And that's it. Boom, they're there. Everybody begging for next year.
Nice, man.
So
maybe we'll do a drone show over Biloxi.
Can we do a drone show?
Those things cost, dude. I did one of those. I just did one for a thing. You know how much that cost?
No, well, never mind. Never mind. I'll do the blimp. Give me the blimp.
No, it costs like $500,000 to be more realistic. 400,000, I think. That's what a drone show, like a big one, costs. That would be great, though. I'd do the Brownwater Bash, have a drone show over there. Look great over the bay.
Yep.
That'd be sweet. Okay, so VIP party. After that, everyone's wasted. They go their own way.
No, they went out to the casino and played craps. I went and had dinner with three of the guys. Some more trickled in at another table. I was waiting on the crap list to open again.
Really?
Yeah, but it was they had already opened it while we were in the party. A bunch of us got on it. Jen, Justice Jen, thanks to your intel from playing with her in the past, you talked about how many horns numbers she throws.
I don't know. I know she throws some 10s too. She throws 4s and 10s.
She threw 4s and 10s and a lot of horns. And I went heavy on the outside and lighter on the inside. And she had a fantastic roll.
Really nice job, Justice Jen. Do you know how many? I'm sure she was tracking in between, right?
She was tracking. I don't know how many. I don't know the count. I know that roll right there, a lot of people just went ahead and colored up.
And they were like, peace, we're done. It was one of those.
Yep.
We need a name for those where it's just like, you're done. That's it.
Yeah. I thought we had a name for that.
No, we don't have a name for that. We do not have a name for the roll. We have a name for your last bet.
Let's call it the gin. She just threw a gin.
Do her justice. So is that good where you're just later? Thank you. Good night.
Yeah.
Mic drop. And then
a lot of them did. Of course I didn't. I stayed and played a little longer, which worked out for me. And I had a good toss on the crap list after that. I think I was back upstairs in my room well before midnight that night.
Oh, that's impressive. That's impressive.
Well, I'd been up
but you were going all day though.
Yeah. Going all day and drinking all evening.
Yeah, man. I don't know how you do it. I really do not know how you do it. Did everyone get along? Were there any fights? Were there any any fisticuffs? Nothing?
No, nothing like that. Everybody's just down there enjoying playing, and you got plenty of veteran players,
Yeah.
and you got a lot of newer players learning,
Nice.
but they all knew the proper etiquette and all. I mean, there was nothing to complain about with those people.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Everyone's going there. Right
It was,
frame of mind.
yeah, it was. Everybody's there to win money, have a good time, but try to win money. Not there to shoot. You're there to have a good time.
Sundays rolling around. Sure, it's buzzing. Private table action. Was there anything happening in the morning and early afternoon?
Yeah, we did a quick coffee run. And then I went and got me some breakfast because I said, this is going to be a long day. I went and got steak, eggs, and grits.
Nice, man. That sounds
What's-
good.
Where do grits come from?
Grits come from
Come on now.
corn.
Yes.
Do they? Really?
Yes.
That was a
Yeah.
guess. That was just a guess.
Steak, eggs, and grits. That's what I had for breakfast.
Sounds good. That actually sounds good, man.
It was delicious.
You had some black coffee with that?
Yep. Black
Yeah.
coffee. And so that was a pretty heavy breakfast. It was kind of late because we had been playing craps that morning. I went back to the room, chilled out for a little bit, walked downstairs, much to my demise. I walked downstairs. It was noonish. And I was like, why is that table over there totally vacant? 'Cause, you know,
What a travesty. How can
yeah.
that?
I mean, there's one table that's packed. My favorite table is packed. My second favorite table is totally empty. And I'm like,
Yeah, Cinderella.
they had raised it to a $25 minimum and nobody was on it. And I said,
Keep the
well, I mean,
riffraff away.
well, it's not that. It's just, yeah, they were trying to take advantage of us, I think.
Yeah, of course.
Truth be known.
Yeah, any casino, they're just greedy. Of course, they're
Mhm.
going to try to up the rates on these innocent people.
My dumb ass bought in
Okay.
and wasn't too long till it started filling up. Justice Jen, Ryan from Mark Point. I can't even remember now. There was like maybe four others. Wasn't totally full, but a lot came up to play. None of us could get anything going. Like it seemed like it was just like 3 and out, 4 and out, 5 and out, 2 and out. PSO.
Regular table, right?
Yeah, it just all of a sudden it was like nobody could get anything going. Once it got, I was doing kind of okay until we got kind of, hell, I was probably up, and then everybody bought in, and I made bets on them, and everything was short. Then I went short on rolls, and like, I'm out of here, going to the room, rest up.
Why'd you think you were going short on rolls? Was it just a lack of concentration? Because I had a conversation with Bump John about throwing today, because at Durango, when I was throwing last night, by the way, Craps RN says hello. He showed up there.
Tell him I said roll tide.
Yeah. And so, dude, I had 2 roll tide guys there, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I was in the midst of a 24 roller or an 18 roller last night. Bump John, he always tells me, he's like, one of your dice, you're throwing a lot of 3s or 4s, whatever I'm off axis on, right? He's like, you're throwing a lot of 4s. And I said, listen, Bump John, I love that info because it's useful, but I can't do anything with it because my brain is too focused. I don't know if you experience this, Ed, but it takes me a lot of concentration, mental concentration, to really make sure that I hit that same spot on the felt that I want to hit, because it's so easy to fuck that up.
Yep.
I'm saying, listen, it's not me ignoring you. It's just that I need every ounce of my brain power to focus in on my toss and to make sure that I do not fuck this up. Everything from how I'm holding that dice to where it's set to really making sure I hit that spot, that same spot, because the times when it slips out or separates, or you miss your landing zone, and you can tell one of those dice fucking goes a mile away in another direction. But when I can stick them in that same little area, I get long rolls. And that's why it takes a lot of concentration. And I can now tell. There was a guy I knew immediately. I'm like, that dice slipped out of your hand. 7. It's a shame. Who's having a great roll. But all it takes is one little slip up.
Yep.
I think people don't understand how much concentration it takes to really shoot repetitively over and over and over again like a machine.
Yep. A lot of concentration.
And one little slip up, dude.
A lot of concentration. and it's got to be exactly the same, almost as close as you can get it every single time.
So were you getting tired? Because that's what happens. And that's one of my indicators.
I don't really have anything I wasn't really tired, but maybe I was losing concentration. I don't know. I don't have a definitive answer as to why my rolls were short. I know that table pretty well. Quite frankly, the come out game during those rolls with me was fantastic.
Nice.
In fact, our come out game with a lot of people was freaking fantastic.
Nice, man.
We were knocking out horns on the come out,
Coming out, fighting,
and pressing, and
nice,
pressing.
Man. Coming out strong, dude.
Well, throwing my come out set or my backup come out set, and you just keep stacking up on the world bet, man. You get $100 on that thing, and you throw a 2. It pays pretty doggone nice.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It pays for all your place bets and plus some before you don't have to take money out of your rack to make your bets. So that's kind of cool. But anyway, the come out game was really, really good all weekend. I mean, there was a lot of action, a lot of come out action.
Ed, I'm sorry, I got to interject. I took a little inspiration from you with your come out game. By the way, Table Maker was in town too.
Again?
Yeah, he was in town, and I met up with him.
Does he get mail there too?
Bump John, obviously. But listen, really quickly, how a good come out game. I played that repeater table at Caesars through the 5-6-6-5 for my come out set with $10 on the repeaters. Aces, boom, aces. All of a sudden, I had $400, and I said, Bump John, my hand's paid for immediately. It's awesome.
We had that a lot. This week, where we would get 2 or 3 rolls into the come out game. I was hitting ace deuces all weekend. Occasional aces, occasional 12. Yeah. But I was like, I'm going to throw an ace deuce. I was putting $10 just on the ace deuce.
But having a set that is your come out set, and that that if you're on, you're going to hit horns is a thing, and it's a good thing to have in your arsenal. It was
fantastic. It was fantastic. There was some time, we'll get into it. I can't remember if it was on the private table or not, but the stick was like, if we get any more bets on this world bet, we're going to need a calculator.
Dude, the world is too crowded. Overpopulation in the world.
And it was stacked like 6 inches high on about 5 people. I mean, it was, if you hit it, you press. If you don't hit it and throw a 7, you press. I mean, you just keep going up and up and up. You just keep hitting it. And you just keep pressing. Because it's magical. If you get that 3rd hit, it's great. If you get over 3 hits, it's pure magic. I mean, it's just really awesome when that happens. So, and you don't have to worry about an ATS. So if a come out 7, or if a 7 happens, you didn't lose anything. You still got your world bet up. You still got your past line was a winner, and you can just replace your ace deuce and just keep going.
Yeah, but on those tables without the ATS, that is your bonus.
That is the bonus. You're shooting for it. You're shooting for the bonus from the get go.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly. We had fun with that. I mean, we played a lot. Every hand tossed had a world bet ace deuce on it. I mean, it was crazy. And then we got to where we were playing at $25 world start with. We were doing so many 25 and a $5 ace deuce. That became the norm after a while. We were hitting so many. A lot of fun when that happens.
Private table action. When did that start? A full-length extended version of this podcast is available exclusively on our Patreon page. New episodes drop weekly every Tuesday. We hope you enjoyed this podcast, and will tell all of your fellow craps-playing friends about it. Please follow Casino Tears on Apple Podcast, Spotify, or your favorite podcast app. If you like the show, please rate it 5 stars and leave a review. The best and most fun way to contact us would be to call and leave a message on our official Casino Tears vent line, 229-NO7. You can also email us at no7@casinotears.com. And lastly, to help support this podcast, you can visit our Patreon at patreon.com/casinotears. On behalf of Roll to Win Craps from Alabama and 10 Ton is #1 from Las Vegas, thanks for listening.